Have you ever noticed how two people can reach their 70s in seemingly good health, yet one thrives for decades, while the other begins to fade within just a few years? The difference often isn't about luck or genetics, it's about the small, daily choices that either protect our bodies or quietly wear them down. Today, we're going to talk about 5 specific habits that research shows can significantly shorten life after 70, and more importantly, how to avoid them starting right now. These aren't dramatic lifestyle changes or complicated medical interventions. They're everyday behaviors that might seem harmless but act like silent saboteurs, gradually stealing away our energy, our independence, and our years. The encouraging news is that once we understand these mistakes, we can correct them with simple, practical steps that fit naturally into our daily routines. Let's begin with something that affects nearly every person over 70, often without them realizing the damage being done. It's the habit of sitting for long periods without movement. Now, you might be thinking that rest is important as we age, and you'd be absolutely right. But there's a crucial difference between getting adequate rest and spending most of your day sitting or lying down with minimal activity. When we remain still for hours at a time, our bodies begin to shut down in ways that accelerate aging. Blood circulation slows, which means our organs and tissues receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients. Our muscles, even if they were once strong, start to weaken and shrink. This loss of muscle, which doctors call sarcopenia, doesn't just affect our strength. It impacts our balance, our ability to recover from illness, and even our metabolism. The research on prolonged sitting is quite sobering. Studies have found that excessive sitting increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. It raises blood pressure, contributes to blood clots, and can lead to confusion and fatigue that many people mistakenly attribute simply to getting older. But here's the truth. Much of what we accept as normal aging is actually the result of decreased movement. Think about Paul, a 78-year-old man who loved reading and watching television. He would sit in his favorite chair for hours every day, barely moving except to go to the bathroom or get meals. Over time, he noticed he felt weaker when standing. Walking to the mailbox became challenging. His legs felt heavy and unsteady. His doctor explained that his muscles had atrophied from lack of use, and his circulation had become sluggish. The solution wasn't complicated. Paul started setting a timer to remind himself to stand and walk around his house every 30 minutes. He added a 20-minute walk around his neighborhood each morning. Within weeks, his energy returned. His balance improved, and he felt years younger. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours at a gym. Light, consistent movement throughout the day is what matters. Walking, even slowly, counts. Gardening, stretching, doing household chores, these all keep your body active and your systems functioning properly. The key is frequency and consistency. 20 minutes of movement spread throughout the day is more beneficial than being sedentary for 23 hours and active for just one. Now let's talk about the second mistake, one that's incredibly common yet rarely discussed. Inadequate hydration. As we age, something interesting happens to our bodies. The sensation of thirst becomes less reliable. Our brains don't signal us to drink water as readily as they did when we were younger. At the same time, our kidneys become less efficient at conserving water. This creates a perfect storm for chronic, mild dehydration that many older adults experience without even knowing it. Dehydration isn't just about feeling thirsty. When your body lacks sufficient water, your blood becomes thicker and more difficult to pump. This forces your heart to work harder, raising blood pressure and increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Your kidneys struggle to filter waste products, which can lead to kidney damage over time. Your brain, which is roughly 73% water, functions less efficiently, leading to confusion, dizziness, and difficulty concentrating. Consider Margaret, an 81-year-old woman who prided herself on her independence. She lived alone and managed her home beautifully, but she began experiencing episodes of dizziness and confusion. Her daughter found her one day after she'd fainted in the kitchen. At the hospital, Doctors discovered she was severely dehydrated. Margaret simply wasn't drinking enough water throughout the day. She said she never felt thirsty, so she didn't think to drink. Once she established a routine of sipping water regularly, regardless of thirst, her symptoms disappeared. Her mind became clearer, her energy improved, and the dangerous dizzy spells stopped. The solution is creating a hydration routine that doesn't rely on thirst. Keep a glass or bottle of water nearby throughout the day, and take small sips regularly. Include hydrating foods in your diet like fruits, vegetables, and soups. Herbal teas count toward your fluid intake. Many experts recommend that older adults aim to drink water or other healthy fluids at regular intervals, perhaps setting reminders if needed, rather than waiting until they feel thirsty. The third mistake might surprise you because it's not about the body at all. At least not directly. It's about suppressing emotions and carrying unprocessed stress. In our generation, many of us were taught to be stoic, to keep our feelings to ourselves, to soldier on without complaint. While resilience is admirable, chronically suppressing emotions takes a serious toll on physical health, especially as we age. When we experience stress, worry, anger, or grief, but don't allow ourselves to process and release these emotions, our bodies remain in a state of tension. Stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated. Over time, this causes inflammation throughout the body, damages blood vessels, weakens the immune system, and even breaks down muscle and bone tissue. The connection between emotional suppression and physical illness in older adults is well documented in medical literature. Susan was 74 when her husband of 50 years passed away. She told everyone she was fine and refused to burden others with her grief. She kept herself busy and tried to stay positive. But within months, her blood pressure spiked, she developed chronic fatigue, and she seemed to age rapidly. Her doctor recognized what was happening. Susan wasn't allowing herself to grieve. She wasn't talking about her loss or processing her emotions. Once she joined a support group and began sharing her feelings, expressing her sadness openly, something remarkable happened. Her blood pressure normalized, her energy returned, and the tension that had gripped her body began to release. Emotions aren't weaknesses. They're natural human responses that need expression. Talking with friends, family members, counselors, or support groups provides emotional release that promotes healing. Crying is not a sign of weakness, it's a physiological response that actually helps regulate stress hormones. Sharing our burdens, our worries, and our grief doesn't make us a burden to others. It makes us human and helps our bodies stay healthy. The fourth deadly mistake is one that often stems from good intentions, eating too little or skipping meals in an effort to stay light and avoid weight gain. Many older adults believe that eating less is healthier, that smaller portions and fewer meals will help them maintain their weight and avoid putting strain on their bodies. But the opposite is often true. As we age, our bodies need adequate nutrition more than ever. We need protein to maintain muscle mass. We need vitamins and minerals to support our immune systems, bone health, and cognitive function. We need calories to fuel our daily activities and maintain our metabolism. When we consistently eat too little, several harmful things happen. Our muscles begin to waste away, a condition that makes us frail and vulnerable to falls and injury. Our metabolism slows down, making us feel constantly tired and cold. Our brains don't get the fuel they need, leading to poor concentration, memory problems, and mood changes. Henry was 82 and living alone. He had gotten into the habit of eating very little. Maybe a piece of toast for breakfast and a small bowl of soup for dinner. He told his daughter he just wasn't hungry and didn't want to gain weight. But over several months, he became noticeably weaker. He struggled to get out of chairs. He seemed irritable and confused at times. His daughter insisted he see his doctor, who diagnosed malnutrition. Henry wasn't eating nearly enough protein, vitamins, or calories to support his body's needs. With guidance from a nutritionist, Henry began eating balanced meals 3 times a day, including adequate protein from eggs, fish, beans, and dairy. Within weeks, his strength began returning. His mood improved dramatically. His mind became sharper. He realized he'd been slowly starving his body without understanding the consequences. Proper nutrition doesn't mean overeating or eating unhealthy foods. It means regularly consuming balanced meals that include protein, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, and plenty of fruits and vegetables. It means not skipping meals even when appetite is low. It means understanding that maintaining strength and health requires fuel, and that restricting food too severely can accelerate aging and increase vulnerability to disease. The fifth and final mistake is perhaps the most dangerous because it allows serious health problems to develop silently until they cause irreversible damage. It's the tendency to avoid medical checkups and ignore early warning symptoms. Some people avoid doctors because they're afraid of what might be found. Others believe that if they feel reasonably okay, there's no need for medical attention. Still others grew up in an era when you only saw a doctor if something was seriously wrong. But modern medicine offers something incredibly valuable: the ability to detect and treat problems early, before they cause permanent harm. High blood pressure, for example, usually has no symptoms. You can feel perfectly fine while your blood pressure silently damages your heart, kidneys, brain, and blood vessels. Diabetes often develops gradually with subtle symptoms that are easy to dismiss. Early-stage cancers may cause no discomfort at all. Kidney disease can progress to dangerous levels before causing obvious symptoms. Edward was 79 and hadn't seen a doctor in over 5 years. He felt fine, maybe a bit more tired than usual, but nothing that concerned him. When his daughter finally convinced him to get a checkup, the doctor discovered his blood pressure was dangerously high and his kidney function was severely impaired. Edward had no idea anything was wrong. Had he been getting regular checkups, these conditions would have been caught years earlier when they were far easier to manage. Instead, he now needed intensive treatment and faced permanent kidney damage that could have been prevented. Regular medical checkups aren't about being sick, they're about staying well. They catch problems when they're small and manageable rather than waiting until they become life-threatening emergencies. Annual physicals, recommended screenings for cancer and other diseases, monitoring of blood pressure and blood sugar. These aren't optional luxuries. They're essential tools for preserving health and independence as we age. And just as important as regular checkups is paying attention to your body and reporting new symptoms to your doctor promptly. That persistent cough, that unexplained weight loss, that unusual pain or fatigue, these aren't things to ignore or dismiss as just getting older. They're your body's way of telling you something needs attention. So let's bring all of this together. We've talked about 5 mistakes that can significantly shorten life after 70. Remaining sedentary for long periods, inadequate hydration, suppressing emotions and stress, eating too little, and avoiding medical care. Each of these might seem minor on its own, but together they create a pattern that accelerates aging and increases vulnerability to serious disease. The beautiful truth is that none of these mistakes are difficult to correct. You don't need expensive equipment, complicated routines, or dramatic lifestyle overhauls. You need simple, consistent daily habits. Move regularly throughout your day, even if it's just walking around your home or yard. Drink water and other healthy fluids at regular intervals without waiting for thirst. Allow yourself to feel and express emotions, reaching out to others for support when needed. Eat regular, balanced meals that provide your body with adequate nutrition. And partner with your doctor through regular checkups and honest communication about any symptoms or concerns. These 5 changes can add years to your life, and more importantly, life to your years. They can be the difference between feeling vibrant and independent well into your 80s and 90s versus struggling with declining health and increasing dependence on others. The choice truly is yours, and it's made not through one dramatic decision but through the small, daily choices you make starting today. If you found this information valuable, please share this video with friends or family members who might benefit from it. Leave a comment below telling us which of these 5 mistakes you're committed to addressing first. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our practical health advice designed specifically for the concerns and needs of older adults. Remember, aging well isn't about luck. It's about knowledge and consistent action. You have the power to protect your health and extend your active, independent years. Start today with just one small change and build from there. Your future self will thank you.